Have you ever been doing a project around the house where you had to call someone and ask questions? I have. I think about my dad a lot of times, who's helped me answer questions about my lawnmower, about my car. Have you ever been to YouTube to get answers to your questions that you have? Or maybe have you ever called a company, I'm sure you have, about a bill that you received that you maybe didn't understand? But what if you didn't have somebody to call to ask questions? What if the company never took your calls? What if YouTube didn't have a video and you never got to ask questions? Our children, especially little ones, have so many questions. And our job as a father is to raise them in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. But how can we nurture and admonish them the way God does if we aren't willing to answer their questions? What if we never make time to listen to their questions or dodge questions or interrupt them when they're asking questions? I want to bring to your attention Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 7. In Deuteronomy 6 and verse 7, the ESV says, "You shall teach them diligently to your children." Of course, he's speaking there of the love that you have for God and how to obey his commandments. "And you shall talk of them when you sit in your house and when you walk by the way, when you lie down and when you rise." Have you ever noticed the word talk there? Not just teach, but talk. Conversations involve questions. My 6-year-old asked me questions I never dreamed of. And it would be easy to say, well, not now, let's do it later, or ask your mom. But God has given us as fathers great responsibility to teach our children diligently. Let me give you a few suggestions on how to answer questions from your children. Number one, first be in the Word. If you don't spend time in the Word, you're not going to be able to give an answer to your children for the hope within you. 1 Peter 3 verse 15. Number two, set up a time to talk. My 2 times are at the table and at bedtime. Those are my times, and extra moments are in the car. This doesn't mean you won't answer questions during the day. You will answer lots of questions during the day, but this lets them know that if you're in a difficult situation and you can't answer their question now, that they will always have an opportunity to ask you. Third, limit the amount of questions so neither of you gets worn out. My max is usually 3, maybe 2 extra if necessary. Sometimes your kids won't always have all those questions, but sometimes they will. Finally, remember, God has given us all everything we need through his Word. We must do the best we can as fathers to equip our children with everything they need to. God bless you today.